Cynthia Frelund puts out a mock draft. If you guys don't know who she is, you haven't watched the NFL Network, she's sexy. All right, Cynthia Frelund, mock draft 2.0. Packers select Jackson Smith-Njigba. Falcons pick QB. You don't know, there's Cynthia. You can do your homework on that one. All right, let's get into this one. I always do my mock drafts a little bit differently from traditional method in that my team prospect pairings are based on optimizing for wins in upcoming season only. Blah, 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 blah. I coded my model assuming Packers trade Aaron Rodgers to the Jets sooner than later. I had no idea what happened with Lamar Jackson's contract. That's trade. So for the purpose of this exercise, he remains on the Ravens for 23. Still no trades allowed. All right. Number 1, CJ Stroud. All right. Normally we see CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. I really like this. I think there's higher upside in Stroud than Bryce Young. Call me crazy. That's fine. I also think CJ Stroud could be, risk-wise, the safer pick. Yes, Young is a better QB, but health-wise, Young scares me. Young really scares me. So I do like CJ Stroud. In my model, Stroud has the highest floor of any QB1 in year 1. Why? He has the sturdiest base, per computer vision, 100%. This means that his ability to throw, even when his platform isn't ideal when under pressure, forecasts to results in the fewest turnover-worthy plays. If Carolina is able to acquire another above-average or better wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins maybe, to pair with Stroud, Frank Wright would have an offense with a top 15 ceiling. I think this is a great pick. Sorry, apparently I can't read right now. Honestly, I just chugged one of those Prime energy drinks. They're kind of subpar, I got to be honest. Not a big fan of Prime. Okay, not really the biggest fan of Prime. But we'll leave it at that. This is not a video about Prime. Wish I was sponsored by them and be making a lot more money and have a lot more subscribers. So, no shock here. Pick 2, Houston Texans, Bryce Young. Young's about... Jesus Christ. Young's Alabama film rates him the best college QB in its class. All right? There is some extra volatility in projecting him to the next level, though. When his feet are set on his platform, he ranks in the top 15% of my 10-season sample. What that means, guys, top 15% in the past 10 seasons. And he can get his feet set under duress. However, he had one of the longest times to throw while not under pressure last season. 3.02 seconds per PFF, ranking tied 153rd. When you look into why, you'll see he dropped back farther on average than the rest of the top passers in the class. Looking at QB comps from past drafts, passers who consistently had deep dropbacks have not fared well at the pro level unless their O-line, specifically the tackles, are able to hold off pressure well and recover when a passer has a great second or third effort. Fortunately for Young, landing in Houston means he'll have Laramie Tunsil, who will definitely be able to protect him. But this is a hell of a thing to note, and honestly, my first time seeing this. Are they going to adjust Bryce Young's drop back? As we all know, Alabama has arguably one of the best offensive lines every single year. Definitely going to be some adjustment there. Getting into the pros. Move this down, all right? Definitely going to be some adjustment when he gets to the pros. Technicality-wise, he's the best QB when it comes to throwing. But I've said it video in and video out. He's rough under pressure. So is Stroud. But he is rough under pressure, and he doesn't have the frame to take pressure like the other QBs. Definitely pick 2 or 1 for me. Bryce Young is gone in the first 2. So is Stroud. So moving on. This is another lock in my eyes. Wow. Scroll a little too far down. That one's nice. Arizona Cardinals, Will Anderson Jr. I had the Cardinals selecting Tyree Wilson in my last mock, as Anderson had already come off the board. But with QBs likely going 1 and 2, after the Panthers trade, Arizona should have the chance at number 3 to address a big positional need with my top-rated defender. Anderson's versatility and production, 207 college pressures per PFF, make him a great fit with Jonathan Gannon's defense. Wow. I think he is the best defender in the draft by far. I do not like Jalen Carter anymore. Honestly, I had Jalen Carter 100% falling out of my top 5, and majority of the time probably falling out of my top 10. I will hit you guys on the mock draft shortly. I actually was going to do a mock draft today, but as you guys know, PFF is now requiring people to pay to use their mock draft simulator. So I'm trying to find another way around it because I don't like to give people money that do that crap. Plenty of people pay for PFF. We all love draft season. We all love mock drafts. I think it's a load of bullshit that they're going to make people pay for it. I'm probably going to end up paying for it because it's the only one that I found that you can use actual players' names in trades. So whatever, but that'll probably be the next video. But Will Anderson Jr., definitely number 3 off the board. And then I have like Tyree Wilson. And honestly, Jalen Carter's out of my top 10. So this, hell of a pick. This is definitely how I see the top 3 going. Anthony Richardson. My model tends to be conservative, so this pick surprised me a bit. Typically, my model wouldn't have a QB with relatively, I can't speak, few career starts, going ahead of a player with similar overall ratings and more starts. However, Richardson's fit with new coach Shane Steichen puts the Florida passer over the top. Steichen played a big part in transforming Jalen Hurts from a college star into a Super Bowl starter, in part by building off of Hurts' rushing ability. Combine Richardson's potential for a similar level of progression with Jonathan Taylor's prolific production and Richardson's NFL learning curves becomes a bit smoother. I think this is a perfect fit. I just did a mock draft review where this happened. I think this is a perfect fit. He's got crazy good weapons. Michael Pittman on the outside. You got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Actually, the mock draft I did was Lamar Jackson going here. If you want Lamar Jackson, take the risk on Anthony Richardson. Honestly, take the risk on Anthony Richardson. He's going to be less of a headache than Lamar. I find Lamar Jackson to be a little bit of a headache. Yes, he's good, but take the risk. You can get a QB on a rookie deal. Take the risk. I love Anthony Richardson. I have to disclose that, so I definitely think this is a good pick. There's my boy, Tyree Wilson, number 5, Seattle. Wilson's value at this spot assumes he's healthy and contributing from the start of training camp as expected. Wilson netted 50 pressures last season per PFF and has improved in every computer vision forecasting method possible over the past 3 seasons. For people around his size, 6'6", so I use 6'4" to 6'8" as the range in my 10-season sample. He ranks in the top 20% in speed after recovering from a block. That's crazy. That's a metric similar to the one I described earlier with Bryce Young, just from the defensive perspective. I love this kid. I think he's got all the tools. He's definitely got the length. He's got everything. And Seattle's going to be a hell of a home for him. I also think this is exactly where he goes. I think Seattle will make a mistake taking Jalen Carter here. I think Tyree Wilson is the better and safer pick. I don't want to watch that because of copyright reasons. But if you turn on this kid's tape, he is got everything that you want at the next level. And he's got everything that you're going to be able to teach. You can't teach size. So what does that mean? He's got everything else to learn. Don't get me wrong, he knows a good amount. He's got a great first step. He's bendy for 6'6". Man, get this kid on the field and you're going to be impressed. Whoa. College and Kancey, number 6. Overall, Kancey is my 18th highest rated prospect. And this is slot number 6. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, Detroit? Maybe see if you can add an extra pick or 2 in a later round and still get this guy. I agree. Keen free agency moves at the corner position makes addressing their interior of the defensive line the value play here. Cansey had a ridiculous combine, and I was also able to watch his pit film with a few team execs to ask questions. Without being overly mathy, we looked at a few different ways of measuring his impact, and the one that stood out most to me was his lateral speed after traveling forward, which ranked in the top 5% of a 10-season sample. I mean, the kid's got a hell of a first step. All right, he really does. He can move. He's explosive. Crazy. You know what may be a great understanding his value? GM Brad Holmes, who has experience with Aaron Donald from his Ram days. There are obviously connections there, but the main one is really valuing a prospect who is not a prototype. I love Callaghan Cansey. I got to be honest, I think this is way too high for a pick for him. I definitely see the upside, but I don't see that upside worth being a 6th pick. I agree with her. Trade back. I'm not saying that he's a bad prospect. I think you can get him later on in the draft. Add some picks, and you can still get this kid. I think number 6 is too high here. You guys see the name at the bottom of the screen. I hate this pick. Las Vegas Raiders, Jalen Carter. Top tier, game speed burst on passing downs and impressive run stopping ability. Both rank in the top 20th percentile in the past 10 seasons, as well as alignment versatility combined to create the highest win total increase for a non-QB in the first round mock. Off the field issues is a problem. He had a miserable pro day. Honestly looked out of shape. I still don't think he's a 3-down defensive lineman. And let's be honest, the Raiders have no issues taking anybody with character issues. So this is a hell of a pick for them if he is the number 1 overall pick that he was supposed to be. Great value at 7, but high possibility comes with a headache. I get the pick, but for me, having him in the top 10, that ship has sailed just because of the miserable pro day, off the field issues, and I still don't believe he's a 3-down player. I don't. When he can get the gas tank, I said the same thing about Jordan Davis. He's good, but he's not a 3-down player. He went to a lucky, good Eagles rotation where he didn't need to be a 3-down player. Guess what? If he goes to the Raiders, he's going to have to be in every down. I don't know if he has the ability to yet. I get the value. Not the biggest fan because of the name. I get the value and I get the position need. So, I get it. Interesting. Atlanta Falcons, Will Levis. Fun fact, Levis threw the ball faster in 22 than any other QB in this draft class, topping 58 miles per hour on a pass against Louisville in November. That's all you got to say, huh? Well, they came out and said they really like Desmond Ridder. I seen a picture of the transformation Will Levis made with his body from like December until now. It's crazy. This kid's been putting work in. He looks like an absolute monster. He's got a cannon. He looks good with nobody on the field, let me tell you. His decision-making is always in question, but I think this is a healthy place to go. Get him in there. Get him competing with Desmond Ridder, and I believe Heineke's there. Get them competing, man. I like it. Peter Skoronski. Big boy. Love this. Bears, Peter Skoronski. Skoronski played left tackle at Northwestern, but some analysts project him as a guard at the pro level. My math suggests to build with Skoronski as a tackle and adjust accordingly to net the most wins. I agree with this. You have to draft this kid as a tackle, come in and see if he could play it. Because guess what? Tackle's the more valuable position in the league than guard. If tackle doesn't work out, you say, oh, well, now we have an all-pro guard. Awesome. Yes, you want him to be a tackle because it's a more valuable position, harder to replace. This kid's got all the skills. His length is in question, and we got to see how he does with size at the next level. It's really what this comes down to. Eagles. I like this pick for them. Lucas Van Ness. Some pairings as I had in my same pairing as I had in my first mock. However, note that the order of my edges has changed a bit as I've gotten a better sense of what type of skills teams were prioritizing during the free agency process. The Eagles' depth along their defensive front is by design. Lucas Van Ness, as you don't know, from Iowa. Wasn't a starter, is absolute freak. Should have been a starter. Eagles are going to know exactly how to use him. I don't think my camera's straight. Sorry about that. Eagles are going to know exactly how to use this kid, and if he can get into a rotation and stay refreshed and not gassed, this kid's got a motor. Golly, you're going to get a hell of a good player. You're really going to get a hell of a good player. That's going to be awesome to see him in that rotation. And their defensive line is going to stay top tier. That's really how I see it. Their defensive line is definitely going to stay top tier. I love this. I love this pick. Tennessee Titans, Nolan Smith. I hate this pick. And I'm going to get into it why. I can't stand this pick. Titans are overhauling their roster, and while I was a bit surprised that a wide receiver didn't pop up here, I don't agree with that either. I do, but it's not the biggest need. Smith makes sense because his presence along a revamped defensive front adds the most immediate value. I don't agree. They need a tackle. All right? You can sit here and say, all right, maybe they have somebody to come in and actually fill that depth. I don't agree. I think Nolan Smith is actually a little bit of a risk as well. I don't like his size at the edge. He's a little undersized in my eyes when it comes to weight. Don't be wrong, his speed is absurd. He proved that in the combine. But they don't have Taylor Lewan, and let's be honest, their entire offense is based around Derrick Henry. They don't have a receiver, so I get why you would draft a receiver, but are you not going to draft a tackle here? I mean, Scrossi just came off the board. Paris Johnson Jr. is still there. Broderick Jones is still there. You go Nolan Smith? I don't agree with that. I get it's based off of a computer value, so yeah, but I don't like it. I would have rather saw Paris Johnson there, to make that clear. Houston Texans going Myles Murphy. I like this kid as well. Murphy has top 8 value when factoring in his fit with D'Amico Ryan's defense. Houston gets him at 12, wrapping up the round with a 3-down defender and a new franchise QB. See, this is what I love. This is what I love to see. You're going to get him a new wide receiver, which I don't know is 100% necessary, or you hit both sides of the ball. I love this. I love Myles Murphy. I think he's going to be very good at the next level. He's going to be a day one starter, and he's honestly got everything that you want from an edge. I have Myles Murphy over Lucas Van Ness. I'm going to make that clear. I just think fit-wise, Lucas Van Ness makes more sense to the Eagles, so I get this. But awesome pick for the Houston Texans. That's a home run pick for the Jets. All right, let's read what you got to say here. 13, New York Jets, Paris Johnson Jr. Aaron Rodgers was under pressure more than twice as often last year than he had been in the previous 2 seasons. All right. While I'm hopeful Mekhi Becton is healthy and able to line up at tackle, the former first-round pick has played just 48 snaps in 2 seasons. Ouch. This win now roster benefits most in the short term by building in the trenches. 6'6", 310-pound former Buckeye didn't even give up a sack on 449 pass rush blocks and allowed just 14 pressures in 22. You cannot rely on Becton. If you're going to bring in Rodgers, there's argument whether they have this pick or not. If you do, please go tackle. You can't rely on Becton. You guys are going for a Super Bowl. Please, for the love of God, do not rely on Becton. Paris Johnson Jr. is the pick here if he falls. I'll be shocked to see him at 13. This is hella value at 13. Jets, please do not rely on Mekhi Becton. Hell, if you get Paris Johnson Jr. and name him the starter immediately, assume Becton's not even going to play. If I'm a Jets fan, that's what I'm thinking. Whew. New England Patriots, Devon Witherspoon, I like this. It's highly unlikely Witherspoon lasts until number 14 overall. But if he's still on the board, the pass jump at the opportunity to team my top-rated corner, Jonathan Jones and Jack Jones, Witherspoon's, ranks first for me in zone and man-heavy schemes. In other words, he's the least system-dependent corner in this class, per my projections. I agree with this. A lot of people have Devon Witherspoon as their first corner. I have Christian Gonzalez. I just think he's a better all-around. I just think he's got more talent. I got to be honest. I think he's got more talent. His size is crazy. His speed is crazy. And I'm an Oregon fan. But I get this, and I totally see this with Bill Belichick. So I like this pick. I do. This is interesting. Green Bay Packers, Jackson Smith-Njigba. My model loves reliable route runners who are above a specific speed threshold. Can travel 10 yards in 2.5 seconds or less when pressed, or 2.1 seconds when not pressed during a game. Smith-Njigba is the latest Buckeye to fit this mold. Just watch his 21 tape. Alabama also has a knack for churning out these kinds of receivers. I can hear you already. But the Packers don't draft a receiver in the first round. Well, maybe they should. Guess what? Maybe they should or maybe they shouldn't. The reason why I'm going to say they shouldn't, we just read it about Aaron Rodgers. Under pressure more than twice as often last year than he had been in the previous 2 seasons. You're going to bring in Jordan Love. You're going to bring him in to bring a fresh start. Do we help him out on that offensive line? Some thought. Or do we get him another receiver? I like that too. So, pick 15, Jackson Smith-Njigba. He is my wide receiver 1. Yeah, he's got that health concerns, but still my wide receiver 1. I do think he is the most talented. His route running is very nice. And nothing hurts about, there's no downside of getting Jordan Love another weapon. So, love this. Washington Commanders, Christian Gonzalez. Sticking with Gonzalez here, his skill set should help a secondary that needs to increase its turnover production. My CB1, great value at 16. Definite need for them, definite position need, definite upgrade. Especially in that division where you're going to have some passers now. All right? I like this. In my eyes, Commanders is a home run pick. It really is. Pittsburgh Steelers. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Broderick Jones. My model ranks last season's O-line 26th in the league, and Jones forecasts as an impact left tackle from day 1. The former Bulldogs presence should especially be felt in the pass game, where the Steelers ranked 26th in passing yards per play last season with 5.97. Broderick Jones is a monster. They need help on their offensive line desperately. You got Pickett, you got Pickens, you got Najee, you got Freiermuth. Give them all time. Let them shine. They ain't going to do nothing without a tackle. Let me explain that to you. You're not going to do anything with a tackle. Teams will realize it and focus on that tackle and beat the shit out of them the entire game. And they're going to come off that edge heavily majority of the game. They'll scheme around a weak spot on an offensive line. Teams do it non-stop. And honestly, it's the easiest way to win a game. Bring in Broderick Jones. Help out your offense completely. Dalton Kincaid's going to come in as TJ Hawkinson's replacement. Love this. Lions have a strong O-line, forecast to be in the top. Wow. So Kincaid's value is really about his pass catching. He was highly productive last year. 70 catches, 890 yards, showcasing real ability after the catch. I said this in previous videos. Dalton Kincaid is the best pass catching tight end in this draft. This is going to be a hell of a TJ Hawkinson replacement. I really, really like this pick. I really like this pick for the Hawkinson replacement. And their offense is looking pretty nice, too. Let me get that straight. Their offense is looking pretty nice. Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line has to be a priority after some key departures. Harrison played left tackle at Oklahoma and allowed only 1 knockdown, sack/hit on 425 pass pro snaps last season per PFF. I've been talking about this kid nonstop. Nobody wants to give him respect. He is a legit pass blocking lineman. Yes, he is good at run blocking, but his pass blocking is unbelievable. Now you have Baker Mayfield there. Baker Mayfield is one of the worst QBs under pressure. Okay? Anton Harrison is going to be your left tackle of the future. Bring him in. People do not give this man respect. He's going to earn it. I promise you that. This is a home run pick for the Bucs. It really is. Nice pick by Seattle. All right, Seattle, Jordan Addison. My models are higher on Addison than you might see in other mocks. But as I mentioned earlier, I like measured route runners who can run above certain speed threshold. Addison checks those boxes. Pairing him with the likes of Lockett and Metcalf should often, wow, what did I just die there? Jesus. Should open up space for him to operate and limit the number of contested catches he's forced to make. He's going to have a more tough time making contested catches at the next level. We all knew this because, let's just be honest, the NFL is just better than college. But pairing him with Lockett and Metcalf is going to be a disgusting trio. They also forget to mention Noah Fant, who I like. And you got Ken Walker in the backfield. And guess what? If Geno Smith can dial in like he dialed in last year, this team's going to be, woo-hoo-hoo, this team's going to be sitting pretty. I like them. I like them a lot. I love Jordan Addison, too. I think Caleb Williams brought the best out of him, even though he looked well in Pitt. Love this pick for Seattle. It's a flashy pick, and it's a good one. Let's see. Does she take for the Chargers next? I'm very interested to see if she takes in the Austin Eckler trade or not. Interesting. Los Angeles Chargers select Michael Mayer, Notre Dame. If you don't know, that is my mockery of Roger Goodell, who I can't stand. Mayer profiles as a complete tight end who excels as both as a blocker and pass catcher. With the uncertainty surrounding Austin Eckler, I could see the Chargers targeting Bijan here, but assuming Eckler stays put, Mayer helps the team the most in 23. This is hard for me. As you don't know, guys, if you don't know, I am a Chargers fan, all right? This is hard for me. I thought Gerald Everett did very good last year. They also just re-signed Donald Parham. But I got to be honest. I definitely see Eckler returning just because I have a love for Eckler. And Eckler, please come back. But I would like a rotational edge here. I know it's deep. Everett was good. Is he a franchise? And yes, his contract is up after this year. I like Michael Mayer. Don't get me wrong, but I'd rather not draft a tight end here and go Sam Laporta in the second round or trade up, get Darnell Washington, not necessarily, or I even like Zach Kuntz. I just think the tight end position is deep, along with edge, so I get it, but Addison's off the board. Maybe go Zay Flowers here. I don't know, but I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I definitely think tight end's a position of need. You can't rely on Everett. And I know they just resigned Parham, who's never healthy, so I get it. And we all know how new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore likes to use their tight ends, a.k.a. Dalton Schultz. So, Baltimore Ravens, Quentin Johnson. Johnson edged out the available corners by a slim margin. Whoever's lining up under center for Baltimore, assuming still Lamar, will appreciate Johnston's size. 6'3", 208, 8.9 yards after the catch, tied 10th. I don't know why people aren't giving Johnston enough credit either. I really like him. I know he's kind of like that prototypical wide receiver, so it's hard. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. They definitely need a receiver. Don't get me wrong. They definitely need a wide receiver one. And obviously, I think this changes with Lamar. I don't see Lamar playing there. I think it's been, let's leave it as a little too spoiled for that team. I don't think Lamar plays there, but I could see Quentin Johnston going there. I think it's a hell of a pick. He's going to be a great wide receiver one. I like this pick, and I really like Quentin Johnston. Minnesota Vikings, Joey Porter Jr. It's got to hurt for a Giants fan, let me tell you. Porter edged out the remaining receivers here by the slimmest win share margin. The Vikings need to shore up their pass defense, and Porter improved that last season, allowing just 143 yards in 10 games. He could be the difference maker in the back end. Let me tell you guys, I rip Patrick Peterson video in and video out. I loved him in the league. When he was younger, he was a dog. He was dominant, awesome, flashy. Pat Pete was locked down. Father Time caught up to my man, all right? Like it will to every one of us, all right? No doubt Father Time will always win. Can't bet against him. Joey Porter Jr., don't bet against him either. This kid's a dog. Love him. And honestly, the pick they need to make. And at 23, this is crazy value. I love Joey Porter, man. Love him. Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably. Deonte Banks. I love this. All right. Probably my biggest riser from Mock 1.0 to 2, and not just because he had a monster combine. Banks is a tall corner, 6'2", and has a lateral speed that falls into the top 20th percentile in the past 10 seasons. Usually shorter corners fall into this category. Further, his improvement season over season suggests he's nowhere near his peak. I love this kid. I like this kid, honestly, before the combine, too, and his combine blew me out of the water. Don't be shocked if Banks goes higher than this. Kid's a burner, crazy lateral movement, 6'2". He's going to be wanted in the next level. This is a home run pick for Jacksonville. I love Deonte Banks. Love Deonte. Yeah, I saw this. I saw this coming, man. New York Giants select the shifty Zay Flowers. Corner or wide receiver? Wide receiver or corner? That's what these past few picks have been all about. I'm sticking with Flowers as a Giants pick, with the receiver just edging out the remaining corners. All right, so let me get into this, because a lot of my friends are Giants fans. I'm from Jersey, so I like Zay Flowers. He's going to be very good after the catch. I think he's a better version than Kadarius Toney, who, if you guys don't know, you actually flipped for Darren Waller. Hell of a flip. Congrats to the Giants. That is an awesome move. I like Zay Flowers. Like I said, disgusting after the catch. Very good hands. Very elusive. Definitely a thing of need. You guys signed a good amount of receivers in the offseason. You re-signed Shepard and you got Paris Campbell as well. You got Waller. So it's not like Daniel Jones doesn't have weapons. You got Hodgins as well. But is it the biggest need? You guys got that one corner from Washington, I believe. But thinking about this, I do believe like Cam Smith is still on the board. Wouldn't be a terrible pick. Honestly, you can't go wrong. If you go Zay Flowers or a corner here, you can't really go wrong. And I'm pretty much going to leave it at that. I like this pick. I think it's needed. But like I said, wide receiver, corner or wide receiver. Can't go wrong. Especially with the talent that's still on the board. And there's Zay Flowers. That's a flattering picture of him. Man, they do some of these guys dirty in some of these. Ooh. Dallas Cowboys, Bijan. I'm going to pretend the Cowboys read my first mock and my restructure or release article and took my advice. Robinson is a special back with the speed, power, and elusiveness to manufacture yards. 104 forced missed tackles and 22 per PFF. I'm going to sit here and say, hey, Dallas, if Bijan is there, expect this, because this has Jerry Jones written all over it. This is Jerry Jones to a T. Wow. Yes, Bijan is very good. You have to decide if you want to use a first-round pick on a running back. Yes, you do not have Zeke anymore. You have Tony Pollard. But, man, this is a Jerry Jones pick. I'm going to leave it at that. Do I like the pick? I think you guys have more needs out there, but I can't say I dislike it because Jerry Jones, and I see it happening. So, I love this pick. Damn, you got a lot to say about the Buffalo Bills, huh? Cam Smith, 27, Buffalo Bills. Got to take a breather for this one. I'm aware that the Bills have a strong defensive back group. I'm also aware of needs at other positions. I am also aware that Leslie Frazier is taking the season off, and Buffalo's defense might not look the same with Sean McDermott calling the plays. However, this is a team that used at least five defensive backs on more than 90% of plays last season, enduring a lot of injuries. Cam Smith at pick 27 would be a nice upside selection. His change of direction speed ranked in the top 10% of FBS players, which helps contextualize his 15 pass breakups and 4 interceptions off of just 70 targets. Note there are good RB options and many at a favorable price in this marketplace. I like the Cam Smith pick. As I said, they love their defensive backs. There's definitely different positions of need. But Cam Smith is good, man. Cam Smith is good. How long do you expect, like, Poyer, Hyde, all these guys to be around? I know they just re-signed Poyer. But how long do you expect all these guys to be around and play at the top of the game? Let's be honest. You guys are getting into the playoffs. You're either going to have to play Burrow, Mahomes, Lawrence. I mean, the AFC is loaded with passers. Loaded with passers. You gotta get deep at defensive back. I like this pick. Is it the biggest need? No. Is the value there? 100%. Love Cam Smith. Definite need for the Bills. Down arrow right to the Bengals, 1,000%. Right is a day one right tackle, whose addition would allow Cincinnati to move on from Jonah Williams, who, if you don't know, wants out of Cincinnati after the Orlando Brown signing, leading to more draft capital in the process. Wins all around. Also, if someone in the Bengals front office is reading this, please sign Joe Burrow right now. It's only going to get more expensive. If anybody in the Chargers organization is listening to this, which you're not, but if you could tell anybody in the Chargers organization, sign Justin Herbert. It's only going to get more expensive. You have to sign Herbert, Burrow, whoever signs first is going to win, meaning the organization. Because guess what? If Herbert signs a $500 million deal, what does that mean? Burrow's going to get 505 at a minimum. The next QB to sign is going to set the bar. Hurry up. Hell of a pick. You got to protect Burrow. As it's been known, it's been an issue season in and season out. Jonah Williams wants out now. You got to replace him. Interesting. BJ Ojulari, I really like this pick. Ojulari gets a big boost in his first season trajectory working with Cam Jordan. His versatility against both the run and pass creates the most immediate upside for the Saints. It's also funny to me that his comp is his brother. I do all comps blind, so you can imagine my nerdy delight when things like that happen. If you don't know, his brother, I believe, is on the Giants. In the past 2 seasons at LSU, including postseason play, he totaled more than 100 pressures and 17 sacks. The Saints need to do this because, let's be honest, it's going to be about time where they're going to have to move on from Cam Jordan. They're in cap space hell. I don't know how the hell they keep getting under the number. I got to be honest. Yeah, we don't know what's happening with Kamara, but this is their biggest need for sure. And I really like BJ Ojulari, and this is great value at this position. And I don't know if I have anything else to say. Maybe I'm going to keep rambling on. Who knows? Like BJ Ojulari to the Saints. Thank you for the Sean Payton trade. Oh! Home run. This is, in my eyes, at pick 30, the steal of the draft. Bryant Branch going 30. Wow. Especially to the Eagles. Wow. Do not let his 40 time fool you. Branch would be a great add for a team with very few holes to fill. First, while Branch played in the slot most often at Bama, my math rates him as versatile and not to just that spot. He's also a reliable tackle. Jesus. He's also a reliable tackler whose upside could be realized in Philly's system. Just to let you guys know, this kid is under 200 pounds and he barely misses tackles. He's a Swiss Army knife on defense. He's all over the place. And that's exactly what the Eagles want, okay? Brian Branch. Oh, man, I have him in like the top 15 of some of my mocks. He slipped right out of my mind going on to this. This is crazy. Love this. Home run. Timeout. So the Eagles got Brian Branch at 30. And you got Lucas Van Ness at 10. We're talking about a nasty defense. Ooh-wee, nasty defense. Felix and Duque Uzama to end this mock draft. If you guys don't know, there's only 31 picks in the first round this year. The Dolphins had to forfeit their first round pick. So last pick, 31, Kansas City Chiefs. To be honest, I kind of like Brian Brees over Felix and Duque Uzama. I get the risk on Brees. I just think him and Chris Jones next to each other would be filthy. But Felix and Duque Uzama is the safer pick. So, getting into this. Brian Brees, Will McDonald, and Adebawore all flag as valuable picks here. But Nduke Uzama slightly edges them all out. Oh, the puns. Get it? Nduke Uzama is whatever. The former Wildcat ranks 8th in FBS last year in pass rush win rate on true pass sets, 34%, and 7th in pressure rate, 28%. And let me tell you, the Chiefs are going to make it to the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is good. Does he really need more weapons? I don't know. If they do, maybe they go Jalen Hyatt. Maybe they replace a tackle. I don't know. I don't know if they actually need to replace a tackle now that I think about it. But Felix and Duque Uzama on this team would be nasty, especially if they can get like a solid pass rush and not rely on Chris Jones. Oof. They also just signed Drew Tranquil. If you don't know, he was on the Chargers. I love Drew. He's a hell of a player. Got heart. Love him. Wish Drew all the best from a Chargers fan. Felix and Duque Uzama is, God, he's going to be lethal on that team. That's a hell of a pick. Honestly, all these mock drafts that I've been seeing the Chiefs at 31, you guys have been getting value on value on value. For 31, you guys have been killing it. I see to have any of these guys at 31, bravo, you did well. And honestly, I don't see a need for them to move. And there's rumors Odell may go there. Crazy. Felix and Duque Uzama, Brian Brees, Will McDonald, or Adebawore would all be home run picks. All right? Guys, live reaction, Two-Tone Sports. Favorite pick of the draft, probably Anton Harrison. I like this. Number one, probably Brian Branch. I like Anton Harrison because about time I see some respect for him. Christian Gonzalez is a hell of a value here. Definitely Paris Johnson Jr. is a need. Maybe one of my least favorite picks in this draft is Nolan Smith. I get his upside with his speed and his combine showing, but whatever. Also like the Joey Porter pick. Think this is 100% necessary. Bears has got to go. Peter Skoronski. And I like the Anthony Richardson to the Colts. I really do. I think they got a nice offense. And take the risk on this kid. Upside's crazy. Upside is crazy. All right, so guys, shout out to NFL Network. Cynthia Frelund. Always hitting us with those computer mock draft type deals. I love her input. So, guys, that's going to end this one. Thank you for watching. As you guys know, if you don't know, I will be live for the entire NFL draft. At the end of the draft, I'm going to be putting out individual videos for every single team in the NFL draft grades. So, thank you for watching.